Here is the corrected version of the responses with improved grammar, keeping the original meaning intact. Describe an invention that is useful in your daily life. Yeah, I would definitely say it's my smartphone. The smartphone is, a game changer nowadays. I can't imagine life without having a smartphone. I use my smartphone 24/7 and I use it for a lot of different purposes like entertainment, work or studying. I can do a lot of things with my smartphone. It's an all-in-one device. So I would say this invention is really useful for people nowadays, and it has a huge impact on society. Even when I need to set up a schedule or plan my day, I tend to use my smartphone for that. I can set alarms, reminders, and even write notes on it. It's really convenient. I would also say that I'm a person who's quite dependent on my smartphone.
Cute. What qualities do inventors have?
Inventors should have qualities like patience and perseverance. They need to be patient because they may face many failures while inventing something. They are like pioneers in creating new things for society. Inventors should also have the ability to not give up. People tend to dislike failure because it brings negative emotions, thoughts, and feelings, and they often try to avoid it. But I would say that inventors should not be afraid of failure because it's a common part of the process. Failure helps us build persistence and resilience, which are important traits for inventors. Q, do you think only scientists can invent new things? No, I don't think so. I've seen many people who aren't in the science field who can also invent useful things for society. They might be farmers or engineers, for example. People with different backgrounds can create things that help society. For example, in Vietnam, many farmers have invented agricultural machines that are really efficient and productive. So I would say it's not about degrees or education, but rather the real-life experiences you have when it comes to inventing new things. What inventions do you think should be improved? If I had to choose, I would say headphones. As a music lover, I use headphones a lot, so I think I know quite a lot about them. Smartphones these days still have a few inconveniences. For example, when you use headphones outside, they can be a little uncomfortable because they're often too heavy and too big. They're not very portable, but you can get really good sound quality with big, heavy headphones. In the future, I would like them to be more compact, more comfortable to use all day long, and small enough to fit in our pockets or even our palms. I hope headphones will be lighter and more convenient soon. Summary of grammatical improvement. Here is the corrected version of the responses with improved grammar while maintaining the original meaning. Describe something you own that you want to replace. I would like to talk about my smartphone. I think everybody has their own smartphone because nowadays people can't live without one, and I'm no exception. I have an iPhone and I tend to replace my smartphone every 4 years. Maybe because I just want to experience the latest versions of smartphones, especially flagship models. I want to have a better camera, better performance, and overall improve my productivity when using technology devices. That's why I want to replace my phone at least every 4 years. However, I know a lot of people replace their phones every year, maybe because they are really wealthy, but I can afford to do that. It's impossible for me because I don't have enough money for that. What kind of things do young people like to replace? I think young people have similar interests to mine. So I would say that they tend to replace their phones, obviously. Many people nowadays replace their phones every year if they have enough money for that. I think people can't live without their smartphones these days. I can't imagine life without them. Smartphones have a huge impact on society today, affecting the way people work, study, and entertain themselves. We can do everything with our smartphones. So I believe that we need to update our technology devices every year or so. Why do old people in Vietnam like to collect or store things? I would say yes, because I think old people in Vietnam have a habit of remembering old things. They tend to be nostalgic and collect and store things. Old items hold a lot of sentimental value for them and serve as reminders of their memories. These collections are like memory keepers for them. I think they want to give these things away or remove them. They just want to keep them in a specific place, and once in a while they revisit them to recall those memories. Do you think children or old people want new things more?
Definitely children. I think children are curious about a lot of things.
They want to explore new things and new experiences, and they want to gain more knowledge. I would say that children are more easily attracted to new things because they are young and have a lot to learn. Their minds are bright and there is so much to explore. So definitely children are more likely to want new things. On the other hand, old people may have already experienced enough in life and gained wisdom, so they don't have as many reasons to explore new things. In some ways, they are more conservative compared to children because they have already lived a long life and experienced a lot. Summary of grammatical improvements. 1. Verb tense consistency. Adjust. Here is the corrected version of the responses with grammar improvements while maintaining the original meaning. Q. Describe a science subject that you are interested in. A. So I would like to talk about a science subject that I'm really interested in, which is artificial intelligence and machine learning. These are actually closely related, so I'll explain a bit about both. Machine learning is when a computer learns from data and improves over time. Artificial intelligence, on the other hand, is when a computer is designed to mimic human intelligence. These days, I'm really into these subjects because they're trendy. Everyone talks about machine learning and artificial intelligence, and these subjects are integrated into many technology devices today. For example, when you use smartphones for studying or doing research, you often get help from machine learning. Many students are using apps that incorporate this technology a lot. Did you ever tell anybody that you are interested in this subject? Yes. I've told my parents about it because, everyone around me talks about this topic all the time, and I think it's really popular these days. Although my parents don't know much about technology, they do know about artificial intelligence and machine learning. Why do some children not like studying science subjects in school? Maybe because they don't like science, as I would say that science subjects tend to be really difficult to learn. It can make our brains feel uncomfortable because it takes a lot of time to absorb the knowledge and understand it at a certain level. I think that's why a lot of children don't like studying science. They just hate it. Additionally, the method of teaching science in Vietnam is also a problem. I think this is the main reason why a lot of students in Vietnam don't like studying science subjects. The teaching methods for science subjects here are hard to understand and can be quite boring. So I believe this is the main problem and we need to fix it soon. Is it important to study science in school? Yes, it's really important to study science in school. Even if you don't like it, you still have to learn it because science is essential for our lives. It provides a foundation of basic knowledge that helps us improve in many areas later on. For example, if you're good at math or robotics, it can benefit you a lot in the future. People who are good at science tend to have higher paying jobs after they graduate because these skills are in high demand. So I would say it's really important to study science in school.
Q.
Which science subject is the most important for students to study? I would say mathematics. Although I'm not very good at mathematics, I think it's really important to master it in school. Mathematics helps you think critically and logically, which is useful in many areas of life. So I would say that mathematics is the most important subject. Here is the corrected version of the responses with improved grammar and structure while maintaining the original meaning. Q. What types of websites do you usually visit?
A.
I normally visit websites related to studying or entertainment. For example, I watch YouTube videos all the time. So if I need to do some research or for entertainment purposes, I would definitely go to YouTube. It's my favourite website as well. What is your favourite website? My favourite website is YouTube, as I mentioned before. I really like YouTube because I watch videos on YouTube 24/7 whenever I have free time. When I'm at work, because I'm a preschool teacher, I use YouTube for teaching. However, I can't use it for entertainment purposes while at work. But when I'm at home and have free time, I tend to go on YouTube and watch video updates. Have there been any changes to the website you visit regularly? Yes, they tend to have small changes throughout the year. They might change the appearance or the positions of the buttons on the website. Sometimes they update the interface or change the font. These are the things I often notice. How do you plan your time in a day? A. I spend about 8 hours a day working because I'm a preschool teacher. I wake up in the morning around 7:30 a.m., go to work and prepare lessons. I work there for about 8 hours. After sunset, I get home and do some daily tasks like having dinner and taking a shower. After that, I go to my room, lie in bed, close the door, and scroll on my phone for entertainment. I relax for a bit and then go to sleep. Is it easy for you to manage your time? It's quite easy for me to manage my time because I would say that I'm not too bad at time management. I tend to plan my day the day before. My schedule on a weekly basis is quite fixed, so it's easier for me to set up schedules during the week. It's not hard for me to set up a plan during the day. Q. When do you find it hard to allocate time?
A.
It would be difficult for me to allocate time when I have a flexible schedule, especially during holidays or my days off, because that's the time when I have to move around a lot. The schedule is not fixed and is really flexible, and there are often unexpected appointments during that time. Cute. Do you like being busy? Yes, I like being busy because when I'm busy with work or studying, I don't have time to think about negative thoughts or other distractions. I'm the kind of person who is easily distracted, and I don't like to waste my time on disturbing or negative thoughts. It's kind of a waste of time. So I like being busy because that's when I find myself most productive and efficient doing healthy habits or tasks like studying or walking. Do you like perfume?
Yeah.
I would say I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm not really into perfumes, but I don't avoid using them either. I use perfume for important events or special occasions, but not too often. Where do you apply perfume on your body? I usually spray perfume around my waist or on my wrists. These are the two common places where I normally spray. I tend to spray perfume on my waist area and especially on my wrists and neck. Since I'm not an expert on perfumes, I would say that my application habits are a bit random. Will you buy perfume as a gift for others?
A.
No, I don't think I would. I'm not really into perfumes, and I don't know much about them. I don't have a lot of knowledge about perfumes, so I wouldn't buy them as gifts for my friends. I don't know their preferences when it comes to perfumes, and I don't care much about them. I would rather give gifts like cakes or favourite foods because I'm a foodie. Did you spend a lot of money on perfume?
No.
As I mentioned before, I'm not really passionate about perfume, so my spending on perfumes is quite moderate, not too much. Annually, I spend about 2 million V on perfumes. I only use perfume for important occasions or when I need to attend important appointments. I don't use perfume often, which is why I don't spend a lot of money on it. Here is the corrected version of the responses with improved grammar while maintaining the original intent and meaning. Part 3. Old buildings. Have you ever seen old buildings in your city? Yeah, I have seen a lot of old buildings in my city, especially when I go to popular districts like District 1 or District 3. These areas have a lot of beautiful old buildings. The architecture in these areas is really beautiful and, in some ways, quite artistic. I would say that these buildings hold a lot of memories for the local people. Do you think we should preserve old buildings in the city?
Yeah.
Definitely. I think we should maintain and preserve old buildings in the city because first, they have beautiful architecture, and second, they hold a lot of memories through generations. I think we have to preserve them and maintain these beautiful landmarks. I would consider them to be wonders of my city. So yeah. Would you prefer to live in an old building or a modern house? To be honest, I would choose a modern house to live in because I would like to live in a house that has a lot of facilities and services. Living in a modern house would be more convenient and comfortable compared to living in an old building. In an old building, there are many inconveniences you might face, such as dust, wear, and tear. The structure of the building might also be in bad condition, so it's not as convenient or comfortable to live there. A modern house would provide more amenities and you would feel safer and more secure. So yeah, that's why I would prefer a modern house. Is there any building you would like to see in the future? If I have the chance, I would like to see old buildings that appeared in the 19th century. I'm just curious about their appearance. When I see them in movies or pictures, I think the architecture of these old buildings in the 19th century in Vietnam is quite nostalgic and it excites me. I find it very interesting. So yeah, I would like to... Here is the corrected version of the responses with the grammar improved while preserving the original meaning. Part 2. Books and reading habits. Do you often read books and when do you read them? A. Yeah, I read books quite often because it's one of my hobbies. I would say that I read books a lot, especially whenever I have free time, particularly in the evening. The evening is a good time for me to read because it's usually quiet and it's a good time to relax. So I would say that I usually read books in the evening. Has your reading habit changed over time? I don't think my reading habit has changed much. The way I read as an adult is not very different from when I was a kid. The main change is in the types of books I enjoy. When I was a kid, I enjoyed reading comics and easy-to-read books or fiction. But nowadays, I tend to prefer more serious books like scientific books. So it's not so much my reading habit that's changed, but rather the types of books I enjoy. Have you ever read a novel that was adapted into a movie? Yes, I have. I would say the Harry Potter series. These books were adapted into movies, and everyone knows the movies by the same name, Harry Potter. I read the books and watched all the movies. I found both the reading and watching very entertaining, and I also learned a lot from the series. Do you prefer reading books or watching movies? A. I would say that I prefer watching movies over reading books. Maybe because I like movies a little more. Both books and movies are my favourites. But if I had to choose one, I would choose movies. I prefer the visual experience of movies because when I watch a movie, I can experience the visuals, the concepts, and the camera movements. I can see many different camera angles, which I find really exciting. On the other hand, books are mostly about words, and while they can be interesting, I find it harder to simulate my imagination and creativity. Here is the corrected version of the responses, focusing on grammatical improvements while retaining the original meaning and structure. 1. Swimming. Do you like swimming? Yeah, I think I like swimming. I like to dive into the ocean whenever I have a chance to go to the sea and enjoy some relaxing moments there. Yeah, I think I do like swimming. I learned to swim when I was a kid. I went to a pool near my home with my mom, and I had a lot of time to learn how to swim there. I still recall it vividly, maybe because I really enjoy swimming. Was it hard to learn how to swim? I don't think it was too hard to learn how to swim because when I was a kid, I had the chance to swim in an artificial pool, probably at a water park near my home. I remember that time very clearly. I went there with my mom and we had a lot of fun together. It took me around 2 days to learn how to swim, and after that I could swim easily with some basic moves. I could also float on the water. So I believe if you enjoy swimming, you can pick it up easily. Where do people in your country usually go swimming? In Vietnam, I think people usually go to the beaches near their place to swim. There are many beautiful beaches in Vietnam, especially in provinces like Phu Quoc. If you love swimming, there are a lot of places to go and enjoy a fun time in the water. However, if you're in urban cities like Ho Chi Minh City, if you want to swim, I think you'll need to go to water parks, which are really popular now, like the ones in District 7. There are many places where you can enjoy swimming and have a good time with your friends or family. What's the difference between swimming in a pool and swimming in the sea? I think there is quite a difference between swimming in the sea and swimming in a pool. The water in the pool is usually filtered, so it's probably cleaner compared to the water in the sea. Additionally, when you swim in the sea, you can enjoy playing with the waves. The atmosphere is very different. It's a large, open space with beautiful natural scenery all around. On the other hand, if you swim in a pool, it's often surrounded by buildings, and it may not be as beautiful or natural as the sea. But both can be enjoyable in their own ways. Here is the continuation of the transcription. Why do old people in Vietnam like to collect or store things? Yeah, I would say yes, because I think old people in Vietnam, they have a habit of like remembering the old things. They tend to be nostalgic stuff like that, collect and store things, Sumand. You know, the old things for old people, they have a lot of valuable things to remember and have a lot of memories to recall. These collections like the memory keepers for them. So I just think they don't like to give them away or just remove it. They just want to keep them in a specific place, and once in a while they go for it and help them. Then they will have them to recall the old things. Do you think children or old people want new things more? Definitely children, yeah, because I think children, they are curious about a lot of things. Yeah, they want to explore new things. They want to explore new experiences. Yeah, they want to gain more new knowledge. I would say that children are easily to attract from a lot of new things because they are just young children. They're just babies. They have a lot of things to learn. They have a lot of things to explore because, like, maybe because the world and their minds is really bright and have a lot of things to explore. Yeah, so definitely children will be likely to like new things, to want new things. Yeah, and on the other hand, like old people, they are experienced. Maybe they experienced enough. Yeah, and they have a full wisdom for their own sake. So yeah, there's not many reasons for them to explore new things. And in some ways, they are more conservative compared to children because they already had a long life to experience a lot of things, stuff like that. Describe an invention that is useful in your daily life. Yeah, I would definitely say it's my smartphone. Smartphone is, I would say smartphone is like a game changer nowadays, because I would say that I can't imagine a life without having a smartphone. I use my smartphone 24/7, yeah. And I use a smartphone for a lot of different purposes, like entertainment or working or studying. Yeah, I can do a lot of things with my smartphone, just all in one device, yeah. And so I would say this is an invention, is really useful for people nowadays. And this invention has a huge impact on people's society nowadays, even when I need to set up schedule, like I need to plan a day. I tend to use my smartphone for I can set alarms, I can set reminders, and even I can write down some notes on my smartphone. Yeah, really peaceful. And I would say that I am a person who's really addicted to smartphone for some reasons. Like I think I'm dependent on my smartphone. Yeah. What qualities do inventors have? Inventors, the qualities the inventor should have would be patience and the ability to not give up. Yeah, they need to have patience because they might occur lots of failures. Here is the transcription of the content exactly as it was provided, with the original grammar and structure retained. Q. Is there any building you would like to see in the future? Old buildings in the future, Sauhif. If I have a chance to choose, I would choose some kind of old buildings which appeared in the 19th century, because maybe because I'm just curious. Dudela Bansung Fap Cho Gak Go Chalo Kutising. Part tourist attractions. Describe a tourist attraction that very few people visit, but you think it's interesting. When it comes to a tourist attraction that very few people visit, but I think it's interesting, I would say it is a village that is 2 kilometers away from where I live. It's actually quite far from my place. This village appeared in a very famous movie called Mother. My friend, who is a director of that film, showed me this place, and I am a big fan of his work, so I know this place very well. Honestly, this village was once a popular tourist attraction, and many tourists visited every day. But these days, for some reason I still don't understand, only a few people visit it. I once visited this village 3 years ago with my friend, and we created many meaningful memories together. I would say that it is really interesting, and I'm curious about it. Even though if you look at the village from the out, you might think it's poor and desolate, I find it very intriguing. Very few people live there, but I think that's part of the charm of the village, and it really interests me. Should all tourist attractions be free to the public?
No.
I don't think so. If all tourist attractions were free, a lot of people would come and it would become chaotic. The government and the managers of these places wouldn't be able to control so many people, and there would be a lot of unexpected problems which could cause issues for both the government and the management. Also, tourist attractions need a budget or funding to maintain them, so making them free could be a bad idea in the long run. How can people prevent the environmental damage caused by tourism? No answer provided in the original response. Q. Do you think tourism causes environmental damage? No, I don't think so. There are many reasons for environmental damage, but I don't think tourism is the main cause. I think it's all about people's awareness and how they treat the environment around them. Tourism itself isn't the problem, it's the way people interact with the environment. Tourism can be a positive industry if managed well. It attracts many foreigners to visit a country, creating jobs and boosting the economy. So I think tourism can be improved and maintained in a way that benefits both the environment and the economy. Do local people like to visit local tourist attractions? I don't think local people like to visit local attractions, maybe because they are too familiar with these places in their hometown. For example, I am familiar with many local tourist attractions in my neighbourhood, so I don't have much curiosity about them. I think people tend to be more interested in visiting places they haven't seen before. Các lỗi ngữ pháp thí sinh mắc phải và sửa lại. 1. Lỗi lặp từ, ví dụ I think sửa thành I. Dưới đây là bản sửa ngữ pháp cho các câu trả lời của thí sinh. Paul, memory. Why do some people have a better memory than others? A. Maybe because of their genes. I'm not sure, but it could be related to their natural abilities or innate talents. When it comes to memorizing things, I once read something about how some people have a better ability to memorize things than the average person. I think it's not necessarily about how much they practice or the way they study or learn, but more about their innate talent for memorization. Do people like to remember significant things?
Yeah.
I would say yes. Memorable, meaningful memories give us a lot of things to remember. We tend to recall them vividly, and they often stick to our minds unconsciously. For example, in the past, I passed an important exam in my life with a high score. It was a very meaningful event for me, and I tend to remember it for a long time. Whenever I recall it, it's always vivid and stunning. I think people tend to remember things that are either very positive or very negative in their life. Which can help people remember things better, words or photos? I think it depends on the person. Some people are really good with words, and they have a talent for linguistics. They are more comfortable with words, dealing with language, but there are other people who have a natural ability with visuals. They are more skilled in dealing with things related to photography or pictures, and I think they have a natural talent for visual things. So I think it really depends on the person, because each person has different abilities when it comes to dealing with words or photos.
Can technology help people remember things better, and how?
Yeah, I would say that technology helps us a lot when it comes to remembering things. For example, smartphones are very common and popular devices today. Everyone has a smartphone, and we can use it to set alarms, reminders, or write down important things in our notes. Personally, I use technology all the time when I need to remember something important. I tend to set alarms or reminders on my smartphone because I use it 24/7, and it's very... Part 9. Organising a happy event. Describe a time when you organised a happy event successfully. A time I organised a happy event successfully would be my 18th birthday. I think it happened about 6 years ago. At that time, I had a trip to a village that was really far from my home, about 200 kilometres away. I was with my friend, and we travelled to that village together. My friend didn't have a driver's license in Vietnam, so I was the one driving. When we arrived at the village, it was already 6 p.m, and we celebrated my birthday there. I was the host, obviously. To my surprise, my friend made a birthday cake for me entirely by hand. When I tasted the cake, it was extremely delicious. I was so happy at that time. He wished me a happy birthday, and we enjoyed a very meaningful moment together. Everything happened so joyfully, and I still recall that birthday vividly. The reason I chose that village for my 18th birthday is that it was the village featured in a movie made by my friend who was with me at the village. Part 10. Organising things. How can parents help children to be organised? Parents can help children stay organised by guiding them through their daily routines. They should set up fixed activities and help children create healthy habits on a daily basis. This way, children can develop good hobbies and habits. These small things can lead to improved organisation and better management of their time. Q. On what occasions do people need to be organised?
A.
I would say people need to be organised on special occasions. During these times, a lot of people gather in small spaces, so it's important to be organised more than usual. We have a lot to prepare, and everything should be done in an orderly fashion. People tend to help each other to prepare for these events because they are really important. Being organised and disciplined is necessary to ensure everything goes smoothly and in order. And in order. Does everything need to be well prepared? I think not everything needs to be perfectly prepared because that could be really stressful. If we try to prepare everything perfectly, it would be a burden. Of course, we need to be well prepared for most things, but sometimes we should take our time, relax, and the unexpected things can happen. We can't predict everything, so it's important to stay calm and collected when dealing with unexpected moments. We shouldn't overplan and stress about every detail. Do people need help when organising things?
Yes, I would say yes.
Especially in a society like Vietnam, organising things often requires help from others. For example, during special days like Lunar New Year, women tend to cook and prepare meals before eating. In this case, I think men should help women with these preparations. Organising tasks can take a lot of time, so if help is needed, it's important to ask for it. People should help each other because organising things can be overwhelming, and assistance can make everything easier. Các lỗi ngữ pháp thí sinh mắc phải và sửa lại. 1. Lỗi lặp từ và cấu trúc câu không rõ ràng. Ví dụ, when comes to a time I organised a happy event fully successfully, sửa thành a time I organised a happy event successfully would be 2. Lỗi thiếu mạo từ. Ví dụ, I was the one travelling, sửa thành I was the one driving. 3. Lỗi thiếu từ nối. Ví dụ, I need to set up things to be fixed, sửa thành dưới đây là bản sửa ngữ pháp cho các câu trả lời của thí sinh.
But that advertising.
Do you like advertisements? I would say that I don't really like advertisements. Whenever I see them, especially when I'm scrolling through my smartphone, I just turn them off right away. That's why I think I don't like advertisements at all, because I find them really disturbing. These advertisements nowadays can be very annoying, especially when I watch YouTube videos and they unexpectedly pop up in front of my eyes. They interfere with my emotions while watching the video, so I really don't want advertisements these days. Q. What types of advertisements do you like? If I have to choose, I would pick advertisements related to music or artists. For example, if it's an advertisement for a music video I really like, I would definitely enjoy it. It could also be short clips promoting a campaign related to an artist I like. I would definitely enjoy them rather than hating them. Was there any advertisement that impressed you when you were a child? When I was a kid, I think I had a favourite advertisement at that time. I remember seeing an advertisement with amazing visuals and concepts. It was about a very colourful scene with a lot of dairy cows. They were smiling and singing along together. The slogan and melody of that advertisement were really catchy and stuck in my mind. I still remember the slogan, and the rhythm of that song was unforgettable. I don't know why, but I think that was an advertisement I really liked at that time. It stayed in my mind and I can still recall it vividly. Các lỗi ngữ pháp thí sinh mắc phải và sửa lại. 1. Lỗi lặp từ và cấu trúc câu không mượt mà. Ví dụ, I will say that I do. Sửa thành I would say that I don't really like. 2. Lỗi thiếu hoặc dư. Dưới đây là bản sửa ngữ pháp cho các câu trả lời của thí sinh. Computers. Q. When do you use a computer? I have a lot of tasks that require using a computer to get things done. As I mentioned before, I was a freelancer working in graphic design, so I had to use a computer most of the time. I would say that I use my computer a lot. I tend to use it when doing my favourite activities like pursuing my hobbies. For example, I use the computer to do research, study, or just listen to music. I can do a lot of things with my computer and I really love it. I would say that I use my computer all day long. When was the first time you used a computer? I first used a computer when I was a kid, maybe around 5 years old. At that time, my family had a computer, which was a very old version. I used it for many things like entertainment or writing, such as typing on some software programs. I also used it for playing games, like offline games such as Selling Butt or Gold Miner, which were really popular at the time. I would say that every kid probably knew those games back then. How would your life be without a computer? I can't imagine my life without a computer. I think I'm quite addicted to it because I really love technology. I use the computer most of the time whenever I have time. However, when I go to work, since I'm a kindergarten teacher, I don't use the computer. I use a laptop instead because it's more flexible and convenient. But when I stay at home or when I have free time, I definitely use my computer for many purposes like studying or entertainment. So I would say that the computer is really important for me and I can't live without it. In what situations would using a computer be difficult for you?
A.
It would be difficult when I can't stay at home and need to move around to different places throughout the day. For example, when I have to go to a lot of different locations. In those situations, I would need to use my laptop or even my smartphone to do my tasks instead of using a computer, because a computer is too heavy to carry around and I can't use it when I'm outside. That's why. Các lỗi ngữ pháp thí sinh mắc phải và sửa lại. 1. Lỗi lặp từ và cấu trúc không rõ ràng. Ví dụ, I. Dưới đây là bản sửa ngữ pháp cho các câu trả lời của thí sinh. Nash, Part 5, Art and Drawing. Do you like drawing? I think I quite like drawing because when I was a kid, I remember that I really enjoyed drawing at that time. But after that, I just realized that I do not have any talent for drawing, so I gave it up. However, I still have a real interest in drawing. I don't know why, but it's kind of ironic, but yeah. Do you like visiting galleries or museums? A. Maybe moderately. I'm not really the kind of person who is really into visiting galleries or museums. I don't have a strong passion for that, but I don't hate visiting them either. When I'm invited by my friends to do stuff like that, I'll go. I would say that I'm somewhere in the middle, not too fond of them, but I don't avoid them either. Would you like to learn more about art?
Yeah.
If I have the chance in the future, I would like to learn more about art because I have a lot of hobbies related to the art field. I like listening to music, I like seeing beautiful paintings by local artists in galleries, and I do like reading books. Everything is art, right? I love beautiful things, and that's why I love art. So I definitely want to learn more about it in the future. These days, I'm too busy with work, so I don't have much time to learn about art. But if I have more free time in the future, I would like to use that time to learn more about art a little bit each day. Did you learn how to draw when you were a child? Yes, I would say yes, because when I was a kid, I had to draw in secondary school as it was a compulsory subject in Vietnam. Drawing was a compulsory subject. So as a high school or secondary school student in Vietnam, I had to learn how to draw. But as I said before, I don't have any talent for drawing and I'm not good at it at all. So yes, I did learn how to draw when I was a kid, but I realised that I didn't have any talent for it, unfortunately. Các lỗi ngữ pháp thí sinh mắc phải và sửa lại. 1. Lỗi từ lặp từ repetition. I think I quite like Dran và I remember. Dưới đây là bản sửa ngữ pháp cho các câu trả lời của thí sinh. Part 4. Time management. How do you plan your time in a day? Normally, I get up in the morning at about 8 a.m. or earlier, like 7 a.m. After that, I do my skincare routine and rest for a while. After that, I have my breakfast for about 30 minutes, and then I go to my workplace, which is just 2 kilometers away from my home, so it's really close to home. At noon, I have my lunch. I tend to work in a preschool from early morning until sunset for about 8 hours a day. In the evening, I get home, stay at home and do my daily tasks like playing games, listening to music, reading books, or just lying in bed before going to sleep. Is it easy for you to manage your time?
Yeah.
Recently, I would say it's quite easy for me because my schedule is not too flexible. It's quite fixed. So that's why it's easy for me to manage my time. I would say that my time management is not bad, and I tend to set up things ahead of time. I have a habit of planning my day earlier, so that's why I think it's easy to manage. When do you find it hard to allocate time? The times I find it hard to allocate my time are during holidays or my days off because I have a very flexible schedule during those times, or sometimes unexpected appointments come up. At those times, I don't have a fixed schedule and I need to reorganize everything and set up my routine again. That's why I find it difficult to allocate my time. Do you like being busy? Actually, I do like being busy because I realize that whenever I'm busy, I don't have time to think about distracting or negative thoughts. I would say that I'm the kind of person who is easily distracted. So when I'm busy working or studying, my mind doesn't have time to wander. And I don't waste time on unnecessary thoughts. I don't like wasting my time aimlessly. So yes, I do like being busy. Kaklang faptising mak 5 asulai. Mort. Loizung tu sai hok theo tu. Visu I will do my skincare routine and rest up. So thang soon to rest up.